Many years ago, like mid 80s, I built a boat, but it was a stitch and glue boat. But it was one of the coolest things I ever did because when it rolled off the trailer, 15-foot fishing boat, into Lake Minnetonka, and I stood up in it and then sat in it, and it floated and didn't take water. It was like, oh my God.
It's exciting. It's an exciting
So
moment.
you're building a boat right now.
I'm building
and
a
it is
rowboat.
a crazy cool design. It looks like it would roll like a dream. So tell us about, I don't know, why are you doing that? And then tell us about the boat, the design, the stuff.
Well, you know, sometimes we have insecurities as woodworkers and we like to challenge ourselves. And they always say building a boat is an extreme test of your skills as a woodworker.
A few curves.
Yeah, a few curves, compound curves, nothing square. There is no square spots on the boat. And if you could navigate...
My favorite word is chine, the chine of the boat.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I mean, I heard that word, I didn't know what it meant.
It's on the canoe. Like
yeah.
Because I'm doing a cedar strip canoe right now. So it's coming around the corner was coming over the chine.
Yep. And I've built a cedar strip canoe as well from Bear Mountain Boats. I followed a set of plans. And now this set of plans I'm following is also Bear Mountain Boats. It's called the Rice Lake Skiff. The first boat I did was it's the Ranger, it's a 15-foot Ranger. That was the model name.
And unlike my stitch and glue, this is like lap strake construction,
No,
or how are you coming together?
Very similar, just like the cedar strip canoe. Although this time around, I was only given the plans, I wasn't given any material. I recycled my old deck boards, or old Doug fir deck boards.
That's crazy cool.
So I processed all the wood into 1 by 1/4 inch strips, and then each glue up against the mold. I made a CNC mold.
The forms, yeah.
Based on the station design in the plans. And I laid out the first strip on both sides, and then every strip thereafter has to fit snugly against it as much as possible. And I rabbit planed it.
Cove? Oh.
Yeah, no, everything's just flat to flat.
Good.
So you happen to have this tool here hanging on the wall.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing.
And that is so that the next board could fit against it flat. It basically makes everything 90, 90, 90, because as you come up and over the curve, things start to open up. They don't act exactly the way you would expect them to, so you need to rabbit plane it or surface plane it, or I use like a shoulder plane, so it goes right to the edge.
So the bevel matches the edge of the next piece.
Yeah, so it's not bead and cove like you would if you were to get the material from, that's difficult to do a bead and cove because you need
15-foot pier. How long is the one you're doing now?
It's 14 feet.
And where is it at in the process? How far along are you?
I'm nearly done. I just installed the seats this week. Now the only thing left to do is as far as construction, is to build, there's like a little deck in the floor. I'll build the floor out. It's just a small little deck that you could pull in and out so that you're not standing in water if there is some water in the boat, and then just do the finish, and I'm basically done.
I think you saw, much like my canoe, upside down, you fiberglass clothed the hull, and then you epoxied over the top of that.
Yeah, the outside and the inside, and then I put the outer wells and the gunwales inside, and that's pretty difficult because it was difficult more so on the canoe because you got to go up and in, so it's like a compound curve, and it's a pretty severe curve on the recurve of the canoes. But this boat is more of a gentle, gradual curve, but it still was difficult.
And it's got enough structure. You can tell us about the little outboard you got, because that's so cool.
That's fine. I forgot you remembered that. I have a 1920s Johnson outboard motor, and we got it puffing the other day, me and Rob, my assistant. Bought it at a garage sale, $100. I've seen them online for as high as $500. It's a little 1920s, all aluminum and steel, all aluminum and stainless. It's not polished up, but once it's polished up, it's going to look beautiful.
It'll be a great little addition to that.
Yeah.
Way back in the day, my family had a Larson fishing boat, and my dad had an Eclipse outboard motor.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen one since. But the funky thing with that was it didn't have any kind of a magneto on it, so you had to have a 12-volt car battery to create spark.
Oh, no kidding.
The boat was pretty small for it to run.
Like you needed the battery all the time.
The battery had to be on it all the time. It was a coil, you pulled it, pull rope, so you pulled it to start it, but you had to have it connected to a battery to have spark. So you'd have like a can of gas, a car battery, an adult, and this motor in the transom of the boat.
And you're
like this all the time.
And an adult.
So did you have a favorite part, a least favorite part of
Well, the one
build?
thing I love about this particular boat is that it's just so classically beautiful. Kind of reminds me of like the old 50s, 40s Chris Craft.
It's a beautiful design.
It's a beautiful design. I can't take credit for it, but I'm just following the patterns on the pages. And I guess the most difficult part was every board on every layer is scarf joined, because none of the boards for my porch were longer than 7 feet. So every layer,
That would be tough.
There's a scarf joint in every single strip. And
Yeah,
just hiding the scarf joint each time was a pain in the butt.
When I did the canoe, my canoe was a 16 foot, and I had then like 17 foot strips to
Right.
do the 16 foot. And I was thinking as I went, like, I'm so lucky to be able to fare this curve in one continuous flow with
That's
one
right.
long piece, instead of trying to do subsections.
And then
of short
the idea of
pieces.
hiding the scarf joint is like, I don't want scarf joint right over one another, because then that might create like a facet in the boat. So I put the scarf joint all the way on this side sometimes, and then all the way over there on sometimes. Sometimes it landed in the middle, but I made sure that they were at least a couple feet away from each other. They all land generally somewhere in the middle.
That if you've not seen Doug Fir, I mean, you'll see Jimmy's boat here. It's such a beautiful straight crane wood.
And it's all, this is all straight off my deck. Like this much, there's like 100 grain lines. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable, the growth rings in this. It was my deck for the front of my house for at least 100 years. I ripped it off a couple summers ago, took a close look at a cross-cut piece and went, wow, this is beautiful, Doug Fir hiding underneath all this aged surface and all this multiple layers of lead paint. So I processed it all, and it's got this beautiful interior.
That's
The wood.
cool. Well, I'm going to look forward to when we see the video of you rolling out to sea. Row, matey, row!
And then I'm going to go to start the motor. It's going to fall off in a kaplunk. And then I'm going to go like, I thought you packed the oars. I thought you packed the oars.
The boat that I made was rated for a 25 horse motor, but I got to say, and I don't think I ever put anything bigger than a 15 on it. But the first day I had a motor hanging on the back and started it. I mean, talk about a test of your woodworkermanship.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, you've got this torque on the motor, and I'm like, God, I hope I did this transom right. You know?
Yeah, this transom's got 3 knees on it. That's like these corner braces. One that goes down to the keelson, which is the strip right down the middle, and then 2 to the sides, 1 on each side. So it's got 3 to really fortify.
Pretty robust. Fun. All right. Well, we're all going to look forward to seeing you
Thank you.
sailing, matey.
Rowing.